Fatima, you are the lady of the night. You are the highest of the high, the light of our prophet's eyes. You are the prophet's daughter, whose blood runs in your veins, who brought Islam to us, and the whole world knows his name. You are the wife of Haydar, the mother of Hussein, who gave his life as deen and suffered so much pain. Fatima, wherever you are, the truth goes. You are the prophet's precious rose. Your status only Allah knows. Fatima, you are the lady of the light. You are the highest of the high, the light of our prophet's eyes. You taught us how to live life, you showed us how to care, you showed us how to give, and you showed us how to share. You emphasized our morals and trained us to be fair, no matter if we're paupers or even billionaires. Fatima, no matter how much I may try, your qualities how can I write? You are the light of every life. Fatima, you are the lady of the light. You are the highest of the high, the light of our prophet's eyes. You are the hidden diamond, you are the shining star, you are the scent of heaven, your love flows in my heart. I always feel your presence, you're never very far. Whenever I am wounded, you always heal the scar. Fatima, you are the holy prophet's pride. I will follow you stride for stride. You are my leader and my guide. Fatima, you are the lady of the light. You are the highest of the high, the light of our prophet's eyes. The angels send their blessings upon you all the time. You are the purest lady, and now the prophet's sign. The household that you come from is sacred and divine. For you in heaven there is a special place assigned. Fatima, your father always said of you, you are so honest and so true. There is no one with your virtue. Fatima, you are the lady of the light. You are the highest of the high, the light of our prophet's eyes.
Thank you so much, Alia. What a perfect way to start the evening with a beautiful nasheed about Lady Fatima alayhi salam. Lady Fatima is known as the Lady of Light, and her qualities of kindness and generosity, grace, knowledge, and leadership make her the perfect role model for us all. And thank you to all of our viewers who have joined us this evening for our second Giant Chat evening. This is an hour for you to relax with your chai and your cake, and for us to talk cycling, to get cycling tips, and for us to inform you about the key things happening at Evolve. And tonight we are very excited about our live Q&A with the legendary Fatim Panju. And you may have already read Fatim's blog. Fatim also featured as one of Evolve's inspirational women. But what better way to learn about Fatim than to hear from her yourself? And we've had lots of questions come through from our viewers to ask Fatim. And we will put Fatim on the spot this evening with all of those questions. But first of all, Fatim, over to you. Please, in your own words, can you tell us about yourself and your interest in cycling?
Salaam, everyone. Nice to see you all. Yeah, those of you who don't know me, I'm Fatim Panju. I'm a mother of two, and I'm now retired. I retired at 50, which was what 8 years ago. So yeah, I was born in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and growing up in a typical Indian family. I found that with growing up with two brothers, I found that the boys were always allowed to go out cycling, swimming, Boy Scouts, and having school trips and so forth. So it was so frustrating for me to watch that the girls weren't allowed to do any of that. So we then migrated eventually to London, and again school trips. Lots of things that I wanted to do, particularly traveling, was just not acceptable in our community. So yeah, it was in my 20s that I started hiking, trekking, climbing, and and traveling to different countries, and it just went on from there. But I started very late. Yes.
You absolutely broke the stigma of women not being allowed to cycle and it being frowned upon, and that's exactly what we try to achieve here at Evolve. And women like you really are our inspiration, and a reason for us to really feel that we want to keep going with what we're trying to achieve. And I'm going to ask some of the questions that have come through. One is around, can you give us a bit of an overview in terms of the different countries that you have toured through and the time frame spent doing that?
You mean just cycling or climbing or
either? Tell us whatever you think you would like us to know.
Oh gosh.
Let's focus on cycling. So
okay, I think cycling. It just started out with in the UK, it started out with London to Brighton, and from there on, those are the charity rides. So you didn't have to worry about navigation or how to get there and so forth. We just and from there we progressed on to the longest that we did within the UK was Land's End to John O'Groats, which was from tip of Cornwall to the north of Scotland. Funny enough, that was our first trip, which is not recommended to do, but that's what I am. Just do stupid things like, and it's always harder. But then I find that we learn the most, by doing things that stretches us and takes us away from our
throwing yourself in the deep end.
That's it. Yeah.
What's been your longest cycle?
That was in Europe, London to Istanbul. So that was crossing 8 countries, and it took us 60 days exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have you always loved cycling, or was it a bit of a love-hate relationship in the start?
No, I was never into cycling. I learned, although I did learn when I was a kid, but with great difficulty. The cycling didn't come easy to me. My balance was always, sketchy. Even to this day, after so many years, I still wobble on my bike. It's just, I've always kind of enjoyed doing, like rollerblading and skiing and paddleboarding and kayaking, and I'm always falling. I'm never good at it, but I just like to have fun. So no, my actual passion was trekking, hiking, climbing, and that's something that I did until well after my kids were born. But I found that I think it was due to lack of training and just again getting myself into deep ends. I would go up and climb up the mountain, and then I find that that I just I didn't have the strength to come down, but I would, obviously you have to. So so that would wreck my knees. Yeah. Then a time came when I was told that I should stop climbing because it was putting a pressure on my knees coming down. Going up was fine, but coming down. So that left me with cycling and swimming. And that's what made me take up cycling. It was just out as a last resort.
Yeah.
But it's the best thing I've ever done, you know.
Ali, I think we've got a slide with Fatim, some of her cycling. If we can try and get, yes. Perfect. So talk us through some of these pictures, Fatim, if you will.
Oh gosh. Okay, the first one on the left is in Thailand. Absolute heaven for cyclists. This is a typical road, a coastal road. So we would cycle like, you know, maybe 50, 55 miles a day. Stop by the you know, at a hotel after every day. So typically, you know, the hotel would be on our right. You would stop cycling, check in, get changed, you know, run onto the, I think there's a sea, isn't it? Yeah, run into the sea, have a swim. So yeah, it's absolute heaven. Yeah, and I think the second one is, you know, typical rain, because every day is not brilliant. Every day is not perfect. So that day it rained whole day. So here we are, kind of buying a cheap poncho, and and you just have to end up cycling. So yeah, the one on the right is a typical, again, state park in Oregon. This is my solo trip when I did from Portland to Crescent City in California. And that tiny tent in the back is my one-man tent.
Wow.
This is what I carry on my bike.
Wow.
And it weighs a kilo. That's it. And the size is just the size of a loaf of bread.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and yeah, the two lovely ladies that I'm you know, taking selfie with. Again, these are just random people that I met you know, while cycling, and you make lifelong friends, and you get to learn their story, and that's the best bit about solo cycling. You get to meet a lot more people as opposed to cycling in a group or as a couple.
I'll just say to our viewers that if anybody wants to ask any questions in addition to the ones that I've already been sent, then please do put them in the comment box, and we'll ask Fatim then at the end. But regarding your solo trip, Fatim, was there ever a time that you wanted to give up?
Oh no, never.
Never?
Never, no. I was having too much fun. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not fun with the couple. I mean, Hasnain is, you know, like I would say, it's my best friend. But yeah, you know, both have its challenges. With solo, the extra challenge is that when you're going into a supermarket, which you have to go every day to stock up on your food and snacks, because you don't want to carry too much stuff on you. What do you do with your bike? You don't, you know, all your possessions are on the bike, right? Because you're cycling point to point, you know, one day after another. So all your clothes, everything is on the bike. So yeah, if you don't have somebody else with you, then what do you do with that? That's a challenge. But on the other hand, the good bit is that this is when you interact a lot more with people. That's when you find that, you know, 99.99% of the time, the people are very hospitable, very kind, very friendly. And they're always there to help. So never ever have I you know, felt like yeah, I can't hack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question here that's coming from Lorraine. How did you manage cycling in the heat in the hot countries?
Yeah, good question, right? Yeah, my favorite country is Thailand, and it's always hot there. So we kind of start cycling just after the morning prayers, after Fajr, which is around 6:30 in the morning, and we aim to finish by about 12. So yeah, the typical day is, you know, cycle through and stop around midday. Then yeah, like I said, you know, go for a swim, have lunch, have a nap in the afternoon, and then when it gets cooler, we then head out again and do a bit of sightseeing and grab some dinner. And we are asleep at 9, and we sleep like a baby. So yeah, that's how we kind of have it. You just can't cycle in the afternoon in the heat.
Yeah. Okay. Regarding your diet, here's a question that came in. So because you cycle and you exercise so much, are you able to eat whatever you like?
Yes.
And you don't put on the pounds.
Yes. No. I suppose I've always been lucky in that I've never really had to be on a diet or anything. But yeah, that's the best bit about being active. You just eat whatever you like. But having said that, I must say, neither of us, or as a family, we don't eat out. When we are traveling, obviously we do, but normally we don't eat out much. And as Hasnain and I never eat out. We just eat, simple home food, including in Ramadan. So, maybe that helps. I don't know.
So you mentioned your husband Hasnain Bhai, and you both seem to have common interests in cycling and hiking. That's what kind of
no.
No. So that's the question. Has it always been that way? No,
never. No. Yeah, both of us always, have always enjoyed traveling. But yeah, like I said, I was not into cycling at all, and he never enjoyed camping, which I love. And he never liked, trekking and climbing. So the climbing bit, most of it was, done solo. A lot of it was done solo. So the other good thing about cycling was at least that's one thing that we could do together. So yeah, but as far as okay, those are the differences. But the main common thing that we do have is that from day one, since we got married, we've always strongly believed that we would help each other, reach our potential. So, we've always encouraged each other to do what we liked. We never kind of stifled each other. We never stopped each other. And yes, we have tried to help the other reach their full potential. And I think that's important to have in common.
Absolutely. And who would you say is the most competitive cyclist out of you and Hasnain Bhai? And are you able to cycle with each other without trying to kill each other?
Yeah, we do compete, but not against each other. We compete with ourselves. Okay, we just want to better ourselves. Yes, obviously he's a lot stronger and he's a better cyclist. Although I think that I try harder, but I just can't match match his strength. And obviously it's always nicer to be at the back when I can draft him. So and when regarding cycling day after day and being together 24/7, which we normally are not with our spouse 24/7. Yeah. Okay, under lockdown, we all, a lot of us are working from home and we're together, but normally we are not. So that's a challenge. Yes, 24/7 cycling, and then traveling and the stress of doing the miles and the heat and the packing, unpacking every day. And yes, that does have its challenges. And also, I'm hopeless at navigation. I'm really, really bad. I've got no sense of direction. I even get lost in Costco car park. I'm that bad. And yet for some reason, he just relies on me on navigation. Why would anybody do that? I won't follow myself if I could help it. So of course, then I get us lost. So
it's all an adventure, isn't it?
But yeah, at the end of the day, we have fun. So.
I think on the screen here, Fatim, we've got a couple of pictures. So just talk us through what we see here.
Yeah, okay, that's my that's the stuff that I carry. So basically, it's all the stuff on the right. It gets gets packed onto the 3 packing cubes, the small packing cubes, and that's all I need to carry. So wow. I only carry 2 change of clothes plus 1 that I'm wearing. No shoes or anything, no sandals. I don't need any of that. I just trainers that I'm wearing, and that's it. And one other pair of bottom or trousers. Tracksuit, and that's it. We really don't need much, and I'm really the happiest at that, with carrying that, and it's more than enough. We've never felt that we are short of anything.
And the more you carry, the heavier your bike is, right?
Sorry, what's that?
the more you carry, the heavier your bike
exactly.
is.
Yeah, and then it's harder to go up. Having said that, Hasnain does carry a bit more. My stuff kind of fits into one, not even one, half a pannier.
Wow.
But he has two panniers. He loves his PG tips and and he carries a travel kettle and some of the comforts that. But I don't need any of that. So yeah.
The final question from me before we'll see if anyone has put any questions in the comment box is, why do you think women do not tour, and what advice would you give to them?
Good question. Touring is not for everyone, but those who do want to tour, I feel that what might be stopping them is either could be a fear of failure, in that what ifs, what if things go wrong, what if I have a bike issue, what navigational issues, what ifs, and at the end of the day, none of that really is materializes. It's just things work out. So that's a fear of failure, could be one. And I think the main other thing is the fear of being judged. What are people going to say? It's just it's not acceptable. Yeah. So I think that's I feel that we are born free, but we enslave ourselves. We put ourselves into prison, and that's a tragedy. That's such a shame that we stop ourselves from reaching our potential. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We've actually had a request come through, Fatim, and are there some medals in the background? I'm seeing you on a small screen, so I haven't seen them, but somebody spotted some medals.
That's my that's my pain cave. That's my bike on the kicker core, and behind that it's all the bibs from the cycle rides that I've done, and the medals. So it's just anything to motivate myself to want to come down and sit on a bike every day, and yeah, whatever works, I I do it.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm just looking through the chat to see if I can see any questions. Okay, so that's the medals. What have you done over the years to keep your fitness up throughout the year in between your adventures?
Yeah, the cycling is kind of a way of life for us. We most of the time when we go out grocery shopping, we go on our bike. So yeah, so we just have panniers at the back. We carry all the stuff, and also that every year I always have a goal to aim for. So that kind of makes me more accountable in the sense that I know that I'm going to have to train. If I don't do it, I'm going to suffer.
Yeah.
So that also works, and it's mostly swimming, cycling. And now I've taken up running as well, because what I really want to do now is a triathlon, and I have to run. Well, I hate running. I'm hopeless at it, but yeah. No point in my saying I wish I can do that, because that doesn't help. I'm just going to have to, get off my butt and do it.
Thank you so much. We've got a couple of questions, and there's one question that's come through from one of our Evolve team actually for you, and that is, do you have any advice for Evolve?
Oh, wow. No, you guys are brilliant. The amount that you guys have achieved, the amount that, the passion that you people have, the amount that IFAD has done for Evolve, that's incredible. In all the years that I've been cycling, I have not been able to inspire a single friend of mine to do what I'm doing. And you guys just achieved it in such a short time. It's beyond it. I mean, you guys should pat yourself on the back and say, although you've achieved so much, but I'm sure, with all you guys' strength and the amount of work that you put in, you're gonna go, places. Amazing. And you've got a great leader in IFAD. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we just need everyone's du'as and we need everyone's encouragement. I mean, I'll give you an example of today. We had one of our riders had her third session and she started cycling today. She managed 3 miles. So we were all so proud of her, and it just kind of reminds us, you know, why we're doing this. And then, of course, hearing your stories and thinking, okay, we need to start touring, actually. I've got one last question that's just come through to me. How do you overcome discomfort of cycling? So particularly from the seat, which is one of the reasons why this rider has stopped cycling currently.
Yeah,
you just get used to it.
Saddle soreness, you know what? You know, either the saddle kind of molds to our butt, but I suspect that my butt is molded to the saddle to a certain extent. Yeah, it's one of those things. You just the more we do it, the easier it gets. But I've got to admit that after 2 or 3 hours, you know, I really want to kind of get off and stretch. But it does get easier. Trust me. I promise you, it does get easier. But yeah, that's.
Fatim, thank you so much. It's been so wonderful to have you live with us today and to hear from you. And for the viewers, if you have any questions, then please do send them through on Instagram or on our WhatsApp group or email, and we will get in touch with Fatim and come back to you. So thank you once again from all of us.